Africa alone received $15 billion of direct foreign investment and is expected to be receiving $65 billion in 2025. My fellow Africans, what are people seeing that we are not seeing? I know we see this data and it's everywhere, but if today you haven't paid real attention, here in Farming in Africa, on this channel, in this episode, I'm going to really expose to you guys what is going on in the agriculture industry in Africa. So that if you have been procrastinating for so long, maybe this will ginger you for you to start your agriculture business today. So stay tuned as I bring you this episode about the opportunities that is available and why myself and my family have moved from the States to Ghana to do agribusiness. Thank you so much for sticking around, because today we're going to be talking about something very educative but also very exciting, because there is so much opportunity in the agribusiness, and I think most of us are not taking it as serious as we should. And that's why I've dedicated this time to really take you guys through the opportunities that exist in agriculture in Africa and where you should invest your time and money into it. But before we go, I want to say a big thank you to all of you that have been, a huge fan and supporter of this channel. If you have never commented on any of our videos and you've been a secret behind the scene viewer, please go ahead and comment. I want to know where you're watching us from. Tell us what kind of farming you're into. Tell us if you have even started your farm. I want to connect with you guys, and you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp or also book a one-on-one consultation with me and let's have a chat. As you guys know, we have also opened our AGROSTORE, which is in Achimota by the DVLA. Pass through when you can and I'll be there to greet you. We have a whole lot of innovative things that is going to help peasants, more than any farmer in Africa to excel, and that's the goal with the AGROSTORE as well. Today we're going to be talking about opportunities, and it's going to be a lot of data sharing and information. But let's even take a step back and go right into Nigeria. So do you guys know that Dangote has invested $1 million into rice farming? I read an article, I think about 2 years ago, when he was thinking about going into rice farming and also dairy farming. So I always say, even if you don't believe in yourself or you're not convinced yourself, just follow people who are successful what they're doing, right? And try to learn from them. So somebody like Dangote, who has all kinds of businesses invested in different things, if he's going into agriculture, then there's definitely something there, right? According to also UN FAO, 40% of the food that we actually produces in Africa basically perish on their way to the consumer, which means that only 60% of our food that we cultivate is actually fed to the consumer or sold as profit or as revenue. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? So we have farmers producing a certain amount of food, and out of that amount of food, only 60% makes it to be exchanged for money. 40% perishes. Right, today we're going to dive right deep into it and speak more about these things and the opportunity that it presents. I always say that Africa has a lot of challenge, but those challenges are what actually presents an opportunity. So if you come and you just dip your hands, all what you will see is the challenge and you will leave. Right? But if you stay and you're committed to make a change and make an impact, then you see the opportunities that those challenges that you've seen the first time you come here, right, will present itself to you. So diving right into opportunity number one. I said this 3 years ago when I was very new to YouTube and started talking about farming, that God is not going to create any more land. So if you don't have a land, get a land. I also did a video about buy yourself a land. So let me know in the comments if you have a land or you don't have a land. And if you don't have a land, please write in the comment below. Also contact us on WhatsApp and let's see if we can help you out. I want to be able to use this channel to support other farmers who are looking for land as well. I don't have land that I'm selling. I know that there are a lot of issues with land, but who knows, another viewer just like yourself has a land that is legit, that is selling. I'm happy to connect both of you. But did you know that Africa alone has about 200 million hectares of farming land. This is amazing. And it also has one of the cheapest land in the whole continent and in the whole world. And therefore, this presents a great opportunity for we Africans to take advantage of our farming land, right? Talk about the land, talk about the climate that it is. And it's just not just any land. These are fertile farming land that God has gifted to us. If you're watching me, you're from Ghana, you're from Nigeria, you're from Uganda, Kenya, wherever you're watching me from, I bet if you go down now to your family has a land. Let's make use of that land. So I think that is a great opportunity. You look at people like Dubai, right? It's desert. Look at what they've done with it. We are blessed with fertile land. I went to Mexico. I visited Los Cabos, right? And I went to a restaurant that has accommodation, restaurant, and a farm. And the whole concept is growing and then feeding it to the restaurant, and the visitors who stay there go there. So it's like farm to table sort of thing. And I was speaking to one of the guys there, and they told me that it took them 20 years to make the land that they are growing on fertile. They have to bring fertile soil from somewhere, put it on, add fertilizers for them to grow common pepper, okra, tomatoes. That's how long other people are taking to be able to build fertile land. And you might probably know of fertile land all your life, so you don't value it. You put cassava, you put corn at your backyard, and it grows, and therefore you don't have the value of land. Those of you that have traveled understand what I'm talking about. So land is a great opportunity that we have access to here in Africa that we can utilize to make agriculture what it needs to be to feed the continent. Going to opportunity number 2 is the growing population of Africa, which presents the ready market, right? As the population is growing, of course, the mouth is growing and we have to feed this population. And this population that is growing, I feel like we're going backwards in agriculture. And therefore, it is causing our governments and some greedy people as well to take a lot of advantage of that by just importing things, right? So this ready market is a great opportunity that if you study the African market and that the rate at which is growing and the amount of food that we are producing, you will be very convinced that anything that you put your money in agriculture, you can benefit from it, right? I was telling people, like, I don't care what you start, what product, what livestock, you will have the market. You guys saw it, that I sold over 100 cows in just 2 days because the market is ready. Right, Ghana alone, I'm going to give you some numbers on Ghana, but Ghana alone spends about $400 million on tomatoes importation. Right, we spend $100 million on onion. All of us eat onion, all of us eat tomatoes. But who is sitting down to say, if Ghana is spending this amount of money on onion and on tomatoes, let me just get 1% of that. Let me just start investing. Let me just start creating a model that is going to help me just get 2% of that, right? And this is real money. And I think if you are producing, you will definitely get a portion of that. Rice, we're spending $800 million on rice. So if you have money, I know a lot of rich people in Ghana are into real estate, like construction and other stuff. But who is going to feed us? All the money that we make here, we send it back as well. And then they send it back to us as loan because we are not producing. So that's opportunity number 2. The market is ready. We are hungry and we need the food and nobody is producing. And therefore we have no option than to go to neighboring countries, than to go to abroad and import food to feed ourselves. Meanwhile, we have all these fertile lands. Let's move on to opportunity number 3. Opportunity number 3 is something that is very important to me, and that is basically processing and finished goods, right? Either you want to go by cold storage or drying method. I'm very excited when I see a lot of young companies coming up in Ghana who are drying fruits, banana, mangoes, and really storing it well packaged and selling it in the malls and so on. I love that, but we need to do more. The tomatoes that we are importing, as I said, 2020, Ghana spent $400 million on tomatoes. We are bringing tomato paste from China, from countries that we don't even know how they are processing these. What are the concentration rates? Meanwhile, we could have done that here. right? So a lot of you that are watching me, as I always say, we all don't need to be the producers. Some of you need to come in as the middlemen and be able to process some of these things that we are producing. As I said, about 40% of the food that we cultivate from the farm actually go to waste. And these food are going to waste because they are perishable food. And before they get to the market, they are spoiled. Whether it's through bad transportation, whether, it wasn't stored properly. But there is such a great opportunity for us to come and better the life of farmers. Because if you build factories in farming communities, what you do is you can process their yield. They'll be able to sell all their food to you, right? And then you have markets ready to also purchase it. So that is another great opportunity out there for you if you're thinking about going into agriculture and you're like, I don't want to go and live in the village. I don't want to go live in the farm. I don't want to get myself dirty. But I'm passionate about agriculture. I'm presenting this opportunity to you that we need the processing. We produce too many raw materials without processing them, and therefore they are all perishing and we are not getting the value that we deserve from it. And that's why mostly farmers are poor, because we are not getting the value, we are not getting the market price. There is no processing, so we are selling them dirty and on the roadside. That needs to change, and you can be the one who starts that journey. So moving on to opportunity number 4. So opportunity number 4 is a sector in the farming business that most of you are aware of, but I was shocked by just the amount of demand that there is for it. If I have chosen to do goats, and that I will preach goats, but I'm very surprised to see that Ghana actually consumes 1 million tons of tilapia in a year. 1 million. I don't know what Nigeria does. I bet it will be, trillions. I don't know what Kenya does, but Ghana is consuming 1 million tons of tilapia in a year. This creates a huge opportunity for tilapia farming. But guess what? Out of the 1 million, we are only producing 40% of that 1 million. That means that 60% is imported from other countries, right? The Lake Volta is available to all of us. It is the biggest, man-made lake in the world. Let's go take opportunity of it. If you're from the Volta region, if you have access to capital, as I said, the land opportunities are better. Buy a land around the Lake Volta, start your tilapia farm. There is so much demand in there, and I think that alone can change, the importation rates that we have. Everything going high. We all complain about the dollar. We all complain about inflation. We need to start feeding ourselves. And therefore, I'm giving you this commodity, tilapia farming in Ghana. If you're into it, let me know. If you're thinking about it, let me know. If I can connect you to people that are already in it, I'm happy to do that. But this opportunity needs to be tapped. I cannot do everything. As you guys know, this year, I decided to focus only on goats, and that's what I'm gonna do. But somebody needs to take chicken, somebody needs to take tilapia, somebody needs to take other things as well, right? So go ahead. If you're in poultry farming, you know that Ghana is consuming about 260 something thousand tons in a year. Tilapia is 1 million tons in a year. That is an opportunity. That tells you where your market is or where you should focus your investment on. So let's go to the last opportunity, which is opportunity number 5. Opportunity number 5 is basically the future. The future being that all of us that are going into agriculture at this moment are looking for a smarter way, an innovative way of farming, right? But don't forget, not everybody can afford your tractor, your farming implement, right? As I told you guys in the beginning, opened the agro shop because a lot of people wanted to have access to the things that I was using, like the brachiaria seeds, the alfalfa seeds, the chaff cutters, your planters, and so on. And that's why I set up the agro store. But guess what? Somebody comes to my shop and buys some of my tools, take it to his village, and guess what he does? He rents it out to farmers. Amazing idea, right? But there is a huge demand, for tractor rental, for plowing, and so on and so forth. So those of you living abroad that can afford to bring a tractor down, that can afford to bring all this implement down, please bring them down, because there is a huge opportunity. A graduate, a young man who wants to go into farming, wants to be able to do mechanized farming, but unfortunately cannot afford a tractor at this stage. put together models that is going to help, peasant farmers, new coming farmers to be able to use to improve their yield and have success in farming. Once they do that, you're also definitely going to try them and have successful business. So I'm encouraging you that opportunity number 5 is leasing of farming equipment. This is such a great tool. As you guys know, I already have some machines that I rent out, and if it's not good, I won't tell you guys. If you can afford it, invest into it, because the next generation is going to need those equipment. And if you buy them now, you will make back your money. If you want to talk more about this, use the link below. Get in touch with me, schedule a consultation with me, and you and I can talk one-on-one about all these opportunities that I have listed in this video. The Africa we know is changing. We are developing, our population is growing. Therefore, take advantage of one of these opportunities. We talk about opportunity number 1 being land, number 2 being ready market. That is the growth of Africa and the market that we need to feed. Number 3 being processing storage, either being cold, storage or dry storage process. We need to process what we are cultivating to last longer, right? To reduce the amount of perishable food that comes to the market. Number 4, tilapia farming. Amazing opportunity, 1 million tons of tilapia. Number 5, which is the last one, is basically leasing of farm equipment to upcoming farmers, peasant farmers, or anybody that cannot afford those equipment. That is a great opportunity out there. I want you guys to visit our agro store. You will see some of the things that we have. It's opposite the DVLA. As you guys know, we are entering into the rainy season, so we have a lot of alfalfa, brachiaria grass, planters to help you be more efficient in the work that you do. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for this video, and I hope that this has inspired you. Write in the comments, give us feedback, let us know how you guys are doing, and we'll see you again next week in another video.